So let's talk about some of the bigger picture when we talk about these roles of advocate, enforcer, and an employee. So in the advocate space, you're in service to the employee. So you want to give them the tools and education they need to succeed. So if you have an employee who, when he or she was in your office, needed a stand-up desk, and that was a doctor's note, give them a little stipend to get one of those stand-up platforms and let them have that structure at the house as well. Make sure, like, working on 2 screens we know is more effective. Let them take one of the screens from the office and stick it on their desk. Make sure they have the right audio equipment and their camera works well and the bandwidth is good enough for all the video chatting that we do, right? So that's a tools perspective. And education is continuing their growth path. Like, just because they're working from home doesn't mean we want to grow, and we want to make sure we continue to grow them. It not only benefits them, it also benefits your organization because they bring all that education back in. Help them balance the work and home needs. So at this point, my hope is we've all had conversations with folks about time management. Just because they're at home, we're not expecting them to work 10 hours a day. Just because we've laid off half our staff, we're not expecting them to work 10 hours a day to pick up the slack. The organization if the organization has laid off half their people and reduced their pipeline, they've reduced how much work can flow through that pipeline. So we need to let folks have that work-life balance and have good breathing room. They should still take vacation, right? And a variety of other things like that. So this work and home balance is really important, especially when you're in the home, trying to balance, my son's in virtual academy and my husband's needs help with lunch and, all these other things that are going on. We need that. We need a sanity check, and we need our leaders to remind us, okay, it's really okay. You don't have to work 80-hour weeks. I don't want you to work more than 40 hours a week. And it's okay if you pull 3 hours during the day and then 3 hours after your kid's in bed at night. Like, that's okay, right? That's sufficient. All right. And then warn them if they're traversing into career limiting actions. This is another way you advocate for your employees. Really say, hey, I see what you're trying to do here. I see what you're trying to communicate here. You're going to hit this entire leadership barrier. And until we find an advocate in that leadership barrier to sing that song with you, you're instead going to you're going to set up a situation where you're a pariah instead of where you're helping, right? So those kinds of conversations where you're really thinking through the systemic impact of their actions and helping them craft their message and action and appearance to the rest of the organization better is how you can advocate well for your employees.